But good news, so I actually was able to split another 2, so 9, so I'm gonna have 12 total now. Like, Jesus. So I did my best to learn everything I possibly can about grafting, and I decided that instead of buying queens, I'm gonna graft them. So over the last 3 days, I have been hard at work cutting wood and building 5-frame nukes. But not just regular 5-frame nukes, double-story 5-frame nukes. I stumbled upon a lecture by Mike Palmer and Adrian Queenie, and I was so inspired by both, and I made all of these. There are 19 of them here. Yes, I wish I was learning about all of this sooner. I would have liked to start doing this in July, but I'm gonna try it out in August and see what happens. These nukes in here that also have mated queens in them, a very nice friend that follows the channel. I know you said you didn't want a shout out, but Kasey, you are the best. Really, your timing is impeccable.
Ooh, you're a chicken.
So, welcome to their new home. Because I know there are people out there that have it way harder off than I do. And right now I'm living 2 hours away from my colonies, working 60 hours a week in a factory. So I've been saving up my money so I can make one deal. So I have been listening, and so as you guys know, I have been working really hard, working 60 hours a week in a factory, saving up as much money as I possibly can because I have really big plans for BeFit Beekeeping this year. So I've been saving up my money so I can make one deal that is really going to be a game changer for everything, including those goals that I have set for myself. And a couple of you guys have mentioned that if I'm going to be doing these pollination contracts, I'm going to need genetics that are made to do that. And you are not wrong with that. So I have been listening, and 2 nights ago, I picked up 6 4-way pallets of these bees. They were overwintered here in Michigan, but sent over to California for almond pollination. So they are absolutely kicking butt. As you can see, there are bees literally going all over the place doing orientation flights. At the beginning of the year, I had set 3 goals. One of them being to expand the bee yard to 100 hives by winter. The original plan was to grow naturally by splitting off of our surviving colonies after winter time. But then I met another beekeeper who was looking to get rid of some extra hives, and in all honesty, as if it were a sign from God or the universe, Kasey and I decided to go with it and see what happened. Ah! So many bees. Like, every hive looks like this, top to bottom, completely stuffed with bees. So now the question is, what do I do first? Because clearly all of these hives are gonna have to be split ASAP. And they're gonna need queens also ASAP. So let the fun begin. Step 2 of the plans for all of the goals that I have for this year is complete. Now, step 3 happening very soon. I hope you guys enjoy. I am so excited to share all this with you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. I think this was the last time that I was truly able to breathe, because shortly after this clip, things got a little chaotic. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going on step 3 in the whole entire process towards the goals that I have for this year. And today we are going to be making up some starter hives because we are going to be grafting very, very soon. A lot of drones. So we're gonna go through and pick our swarmiest colonies and use those to start making some starter hives. Come on. Today is finally the day that I am going to split all of these hives. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through them all today because there is a lot of them, but we're gonna see how many we can do. Yeah, this is how you know they need to be split. That is a lot of bees. Okay, first pallet done. Have 3 more pallets to go. We're going to move these out once we're done with all of them, moving them to a different location. And yeah, so in all honesty, I don't think we were ready for how quickly these bees grew. Even though we were still having temps in the 40s and 50s, the bees knew exactly what was coming. The first day we had them, there were bees literally everywhere. But then once they started finding where their food sources were located, they started ramping up as fast as they could. We got a couple of cold spells this spring, snow in April, and temps in the 20s, but I don't know if it was the pollen patties or the new sugar water mixture I was recommended to try, or if it was simply just the genetics of bees that we had. But we had to start taking splits every 2 weeks.
They're in grub form now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, they should be. Are they capped? Yeah, they're capped.
Cool.
So, we got 2 cells right there that are fully capped, which means they are ready to swarm if they haven't already sent the queen out. Yeah, they're all over on this one down here too. So, looks like I'm gonna be doing another split. There's a charged cell right there that has a larva inside. Dang, these buggers, they really just got going fast. Last time I checked them, they did not have any queen cells. It just shows how fast they can do it. They had to have laid that egg probably the day after I checked them during this whole entire cold spell. The day I saw these was April 29th. The bees had been working a small maple flow, but the main flow still hadn't quite hit yet. The week prior, I had just started checkerboarding frames. Now, I wonder if this is what caused the bees to swarm, because their wax glands hadn't been turned on yet, and yes, they did have nectar coming in, but looking back, there wasn't quite enough coming in for them to draw comb. This year, I really perfected how to draw comb fast, and the main key is to stimulate their wax glands before you checkerboard frames like this. But until then, splitting up the brood nest as such just made them start a swarm impulse. Well, safe to say my car is now soaked. I had my windows open and my sunroof, and now it's soaking wet. I'm soaking wet. The bees weren't happy. Okay, turn it on again. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Apart from our new pollination hives, our main hives that we overwintered were doing phenomenal. The brood pattern you just saw was Vipildew coming out of winter on April 15th in Michigan. She overwintered in a 5/5 nuke, and once spring hit, we started sizing her up to a 7/7, then a double deep, and eventually a triple deep. We grafted a ton of queens off of her this year, as she holds all of the qualities that we look for in a queen. So I wasn't going to record today. I was just going to put my head in the bees, get some work done, enjoy it all without having to pull out a camera. But this is just so freaking exciting. This is why I love beekeeping so much, because that feeling that you get when you catch a queen and you're caught by surprise and you get her in a queen cage is literally uncomparable. Like, I am so freaking excited that I just caught her. I would have lost her if I didn't. So, During the month of May, we lost queens and we caught queens. There were many times we would open up a hive to find that queens were hatching at that very minute. There she goes. To give you guys an idea of how many we've caught. So, oh, where'd all the ones over there go?
Oh, they're all in there. I don't.
Okay, we'll have to show a video afterwards, because there's literally, I think we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're up to 10 already. Ha! That's insane.
42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. 51 cells.
Once we started getting some warmer weather, Kasey started killing it in the grafting department. We had more queens than we even knew what to do with. It was sometime between May 13th or 15th. That's when it started. My phone's gonna be so sticky now. But like, see how fat this is? Like, woo-wee! That is beautiful. We are definitely on the flow right now. This was a weird year because it was like overnight, every single cell became filled with nectar, so much so that the queen had nowhere to lay because every cell was plugged up with incoming nectar. They are really blowing my mind. Oh my gosh. This makes me so happy.
One of the virgins from the pollination splits. Well, this is one that we did earlier on, but the same genetic line.
That's crazy. That's beautiful.
This is what you'll get.
That's what a brood frame should look like. Do you guys want to see something beautiful? Oh my gosh. Look at how white that comb is. Is that not just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Wow. But then only 3 weeks later, it shut off. And I mean, it completely shut off. We hadn't gotten any rain for at least a month, which affected our next round of flowers blooming. And then the wildfire smoke from Canada started rolling in. And during that time, the bees started gorging on honey because they anticipated a fire was coming. One of the main hives, Balana, started swarm preparations, which I was going to use to make splits from, but as soon as she started laying eggs in some queen cups, the bees stopped that swarm impulse and removed them. I have never seen that before. That's the third box. The fourth box has bees in it. We have bees in this box, bees in the bottom box, bees hanging outside the box, brood all over. Yeah, we did good on this one. So we just got a call for a hive that is located in the wall of a barn, and they are 100% wild bees. The hive is so crazy big, and we're about to perform our very first cutout. So this is going to be interesting. My favorite memory from this year was most definitely doing our first 2 cutouts. Holy smokes. The first one ended up being 2 hives in 1, and we were lucky enough to find both queens.
Found her.
Yes.
She's right here.
And our second one was our very first indoor cutout, which we named Reggie. She is doing absolutely great and is already in a double deep. Hey, queen right there, queen. Then we got the queen right here. The year is not over yet, but we have learned so much this year. This was Kasey and I's first year transitioning from a hobbyist to a sideline beekeeper. And this was also our first time learning how to work together and delegate tasks. At the beginning of the year, I had set really big goals, but as the year has progressed and I've continued to work on who I am as an individual and my mind, I'm beginning to see that patience is so important. I don't think a lot of people have very much patience anymore. At least I know sometimes I don't, and I often get ahead of myself. My coach used to always say to me, "Patience, young grasshopper. Rome wasn't built in a day." So continue to keep taking steps forward, and when the road starts to look long, don't give up. It's so easy to get wrapped up in what we want now and all of the things that we need to do in order to get there. But I heard a quote by Eddie Pinero, and what he explained is, imagine a lily pad on a pond. And say the goal is for this lily pad to completely cover that pond. If the lily pad doubles in size every day, then at what day would the pond be half covered? Well, most would think it's a trick question, but if they double in size every day, the pond would be half covered the day before it reached its goal of covering the whole pond. Okay, well, the reason this is important is because both our goals and our dreams take time. And if the lily pad would just be patient, then it will reach its goals. And that same analogy applies to us. Our dreams happen a little bit at a time and then all at once. So for anything you're chasing right now, don't quit and be fit.